The starship Aurora descended through Xyloth's turbulent atmosphere, its engines humming a steady tune as it approached the planet's surface. Dr. Evelyn Carter peered out the viewport, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The landscape below was a riot of colors. Lush, emerald forests, cerulean rivers, and sprawling fields of iridescent flora that shimmered under the twin suns. Evelyn was no stranger to alien worlds, but Xyloth was unlike any she had ever seen. The planet was teeming with life, both familiar and fantastically strange. As a xenobiologist, she had spent years preparing for this assignment, studying everything humanity knew about Xyloth and its indigenous species. But she knew that no amount of preparation could truly capture the reality of being here. The Aurora touched down with a gentle thud on the landing pad of the human colony, a modest outpost nestled on the edge of a vast forest. Evelyn gathered her equipment and made her way to the airlock, where a small welcoming committee awaited her. "Dr. Carter, welcome to Xyloth," greeted a tall man with a grizzled beard and a weathered face. "I'm Commander Harris, head of the colony." "Thank you, Commander," Evelyn replied, shaking his hand. "I'm eager to begin my work here. We're glad to have you. This planet is full of mysteries, and we could use all the expertise we can get," Harris said. "I'll have someone show you to your quarters. You'll have some time to settle in before we begin orientation." As Evelyn followed the guide through the colony, she marveled at the juxtaposition of human technology and the alien environment. Prefabricated structures stood amidst towering trees, their sleek metal surfaces contrasting sharply with the organic beauty surrounding them. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the sounds of exotic wildlife. Her quarters were simple but comfortable, with a wide window offering a breathtaking view of the forest. As she unpacked her belongings, her mind buzzed with anticipation. She was here to study the planet's biodiversity, but she was also keenly aware of the delicate political situation. The humans and Xylothians had maintained a tenuous peace for years, but tensions were always simmering beneath the surface. Later that day, Evelyn decided to explore the area around the colony. Armed with her datapad and a small collection kit, she ventured into the forest, eager to make her first observations. The trees were unlike any she had seen before, their bark a deep purple hue, and their leaves glowing faintly in the dim light. As she carefully collected samples of the strange flora, she sensed she was being watched. Turning slowly, she saw a figure emerging from the underbrush, a Xylothian. He was tall and slender, with deep blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the dappled sunlight. His eyes, large and luminescent, regarded her with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. She had read about the Xylothians, but seeing one in person was an entirely different experience. She took a deep breath and smiled, hoping to convey friendliness. "Hello," she said softly. "I'm Dr. Evelyn Carter, a scientist from the human colony." The Xylothian tilted his head, his eyes narrowing slightly. "You are not like the others," he said, his voice a melodic blend of tones. "You do not come with machines to take from our world." Evelyn nodded, understanding the underlying accusation. "I'm here to learn, not to take. I want to understand your world and its wonders." The Xylothian studied her for a moment longer before stepping closer. "I am Zephyr," he said, "and I am curious about you, human." Relieved that the initial encounter had not turned hostile, Evelyn extended her hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Zephyr." He regarded her hand with a puzzled expression before mimicking the gesture, their fingers briefly touching in a tentative handshake. The contact was fleeting, but it felt like the beginning of something significant. "You've never been afraid of humans?" Evelyn asked, genuinely curious. Zephyr's eyes sparkled with a hint of amusement. "You've never been afraid of humans," he echoed, his tone teasing. "We have much to learn from each other, Dr. Carter." With that, Zephyr turned and gestured for Evelyn to follow. As they walked deeper into the forest, Evelyn felt a sense of wonder and excitement. She had come to Xyloth to study its life forms, but she had not expected to find a friend in an alien being. Together, they would uncover the secrets of this world and, perhaps, bridge the gap between their two species. The path ahead was uncertain, but Evelyn felt a newfound determination. She had a mission, and with Zephyr by her side, she believed that they could achieve something extraordinary. Days turned into weeks as Evelyn and Zephyr continued to explore the mysteries of Xyloth. Their bond grew stronger, forged by shared discoveries and mutual respect. Evelyn's research flourished with Zephyr's guidance, revealing the intricate web of life that thrived on the planet. They cataloged bioluminescent plants that communicated through light, animals that could change their forms, and microorganisms with astonishing healing properties. One afternoon, as they rested by a crystal-clear stream, Zephyr turned to Evelyn with a thoughtful expression. "There is something I have been meaning to show you," he said. "It is a place of great importance to my people, and I believe it holds secrets that your kind needs to understand." Evelyn's curiosity was piqued. What kind of secrets? Zephyr's eyes flickered with a mixture of emotions, concern, hope, and something she couldn't quite identify. The heart of Xyloth. It is a source of immense power and knowledge, but it is also tied to the past actions of your people on this planet. Intrigued and trusting her friend, Evelyn agreed to follow Zephyr. They set off into the dense forest, navigating through a maze of ancient trees and vibrant undergrowth. The journey was long and arduous, but Zephyr's presence was a constant reassurance. He moved with a grace and confidence that spoke of a deep connection to the land. As they approached the Great Plateau, Evelyn could feel a palpable change in the atmosphere. The air seemed to hum with energy, and the flora became increasingly unusual, their colors more vivid and their forms more alien. Finally, they reached the entrance to a hidden cavern, concealed by a curtain of thick vines. Zephyr parted the vines and led Evelyn into the darkness. The cavern walls glowed faintly with bioluminescent moss, casting an eerie light on their path. As they ventured deeper, the air grew cooler, and the sound of dripping water echoed around them. At the heart of the cavern, they emerged into a vast, underground chamber. In the center stood an ancient structure, unlike anything Evelyn had ever seen. It was a massive crystalline formation pulsating with a soft, rhythmic light that seemed to resonate with the very heartbeat of the planet. "This is the heart of Xyloth," Zephyr said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It is the source of our world's energy and the keeper of its history." Evelyn approached the structure, her scientific mind racing with questions. As she examined the crystalline surface, she noticed intricate patterns and symbols etched into the material. It was both beautiful and otherworldly. Zephyr placed a hand on the crystal, and it responded with a brighter pulse. "There is something I must show you," he said. "The heart contains memories of the past, and it can reveal the truth about the human presence on Xyloth." Evelyn watched in awe as the crystal began to project images into the air. Scenes from the past unfolded before her eyes. Human colonists arriving on Xyloth, establishing their settlement, and beginning their mining operations. At first, it was a story of cooperation and mutual benefit, but as the images continued, a darker narrative emerged. The humans discovered the heart of Xyloth and realized its potential as a powerful energy source. Driven by greed and ambition, they devised a plan to harness its energy, regardless of the consequences. The mining operations intensified, causing severe damage to the environment and disrupting the delicate balance of life on the planet. Evelyn felt a knot tighten in her stomach as she watched the destruction unfold. "Why didn't anyone stop them?" she asked, her voice filled with anguish. "Some tried," Zephyr replied, his tone somber, "but their voices were silenced and the truth was buried. The heart remembers everything, and it has been waiting for someone who would listen." Evelyn's mind raced with the implications of what she had seen. The human corporation behind the colonization had known about the risks, but had chosen to prioritize profit over preservation. The consequences of their actions could be catastrophic, not only for Xyloth, but potentially for Earth as well. "We have to stop this," Evelyn said, determination replacing her initial shock. "We need to expose the truth and prevent further damage." Zephyr nodded, his expression resolute. "We must act quickly. There are those who will not want this information to come to light." Together, they formulated a plan. They would gather evidence from the heart and present it to both the Xylothian Council and the human colony leaders. It would be a dangerous mission, fraught with the risk of opposition from powerful forces who had a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. As they prepared to leave the cavern, Evelyn turned to Zephyr with gratitude. "Thank you for trusting me with this. We have a long road ahead, but I believe we can make a difference." Zephyr smiled, a rare expression that lit up his luminescent eyes. "You have shown me that not all humans are driven by greed. Together, we can build a future based on understanding and respect." With renewed resolve, they began their journey back to the colony, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The path would be difficult, but Evelyn knew that with Zephyr by her side, they had a chance to change the fate of Xyloth, and perhaps, in doing so, to redefine the relationship between humans and the world they called home. Evelyn and Zephyr's return to the colony was marked by a tense urgency. The revelations from the heart of Xyloth weighed heavily on them, and they knew time was of the essence. They had to act quickly to gather irrefutable evidence and present it to the colony's leaders and the Xylothian Council. Their first task was to document the information stored within the heart. Evelyn spent hours meticulously recording the images and data projections with her datapad, ensuring every detail was captured. Zephyr, meanwhile, reached out to trusted Xylothian allies who shared his desire for a peaceful resolution and the preservation of their world. As they worked, Evelyn's mind churned with the implications of what they had uncovered. The evidence was damning, clear proof that the human corporation had willfully endangered both Xyloth and Earth. She knew the task ahead would be perilous, but she also understood the importance of their mission. The day of their presentation arrived sooner than expected. The colony's central hall was filled with representatives from both the human settlement and the Xylothian tribes. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and skepticism, as rumors of the secret meeting had spread quickly. Commander Harris, the colony's leader, opened the assembly. "We are gathered here today to hear a matter of great importance. Dr. Evelyn Carter and our Xylothian friend Zephyr have requested this meeting to share urgent findings. Dr. Carter, you have the floor." Evelyn took a deep breath and stepped forward, feeling the weight of dozens of eyes upon her. She began by describing her work on Xyloth and her growing friendship with Zephyr. She spoke of the wonders they had discovered together and the deep respect she had developed for the Xylothian way of life. "As many of you know, I came to Xyloth to study its biodiversity," she said. "But what I have discovered goes far beyond scientific curiosity. It concerns the very survival of this planet and its inhabitants, both human and Xylothian." Evelyn activated her datapad, projecting images and data into the air. The room fell silent as the holographic display showed the heart of Xyloth and the scenes of destruction caused by human mining operations. Gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd as the evidence unfolded before them. "The heart of Xyloth holds the memories of this planet," Evelyn continued. "It has shown us that the human corporation knew the risks of their actions but chose to ignore them for profit. Their mining operations are destabilizing Xyloth's ecosystem, and the consequences could be catastrophic." Zephyr stepped forward, his presence commanding respect. "My people have lived in harmony with this land for generations. We understand its rhythms and its needs. The heart has revealed the truth, and we must act to prevent further harm." A tense silence followed their presentation. Commander Harris, looking troubled, stood up. "These are serious accusations, Dr. Carter. Do you have any proof that can directly link these actions to the corporation's leadership?" Evelyn nodded, her heart pounding. "Yes, Commander. We have detailed records and communication logs from the heart that implicate key figures in the corporation. They have been aware of the potential dangers all along." As she spoke, a group of humans in corporate uniforms pushed their way to the front. Their leader, a stern-faced woman named Director Lang, addressed the assembly with a voice laced with authority. "This is preposterous. Dr. Carter, you are a scientist, not a corporate investigator. These so-called findings are nothing more than speculative nonsense." Evelyn stood her ground. "The evidence speaks for itself, Director Lang. Ignoring it won't make it go away. We have a responsibility to protect this planet and its inhabitants." The room erupted into a heated debate. Supporters of Evelyn and Zephyr's cause clashed with corporate loyalists, each side fiercely defending their positions. Evelyn felt a pang of doubt. Could they really convince these people to change course? Amid the chaos, an elder Xylothian adorned in ceremonial garb rose to speak. His voice, though soft, commanded immediate attention. We must listen to the wisdom of the heart and the words of those who seek to protect our world. This is not a matter of profit or power. It is a matter of survival. His words seemed to cut through the noise, bringing a momentary stillness to the room. Evelyn saw the flicker of realization in the eyes of many. Perhaps they were beginning to understand the gravity of the situation. Commander Harris raised his hand for silence. We need to investigate these claims thoroughly. If what Dr. Carter and Zephyr have presented is true, we cannot afford to ignore it. We must convene a joint task force of humans and Xylothians to examine the evidence and determine the best course of action. Relief washed over Evelyn. It was a small victory, but it was a start. The Assembly agreed to form the task force, and Evelyn and Zephyr were appointed as key members. They would work together to uncover the full extent of the corporation's actions and find a way to mitigate the damage. As the meeting adjourned, Evelyn felt a surge of hope. They had taken the first step toward protecting Xyloth, but she knew the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges. She turned to Zephyr, who smiled reassuringly. "We have awakened the truth," he said. "Now, we must see it through to the end." Evelyn nodded, her determination renewed. With Zephyr by her side and the support of those who believed in their cause, she felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. Together, they would fight for the future of Xyloth and prove that humans and Xylothians could unite for the greater good. The formation of the Joint Task Force marked a pivotal moment in the history of Xyloth. Human scientists, engineers, and Xylothian scholars gathered together, setting aside their differences to work toward a common goal. The urgency of their mission was palpable. Every day counted in their race to avert disaster. Evelyn and Zephyr quickly became the task force's leading figures. Evelyn's expertise in xenobiology and Zephyr's intimate knowledge of Xylothian lore and culture created a powerful synergy. Their unwavering commitment inspired others, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose that transcended species. The task force established its headquarters in a neutral zone between the human colony and the Xylothian settlements. Here, they worked tirelessly to analyze the data from the heart of Xyloth and develop strategies to mitigate the damage caused by the mining operations. It was a delicate balance of science, diplomacy, and sheer determination. One evening, as the twin suns set over the horizon, bathing the landscape in a golden glow, Evelyn and Zephyr gathered with the task force for a crucial meeting. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful, filled with the hum of anticipation. "We have made significant progress," Evelyn began, addressing the assembly. "Our analysis confirms that the mining operations have disrupted the planet's energy balance, threatening both Xyloth's ecosystem and the stability of its core. However, we believe there is a way to reverse some of the damage." Zephyr stepped forward, his luminescent eyes reflecting the hope in his voice. "The heart of Xyloth is not just a source of power, it is also a healer. If we can channel its energy correctly, we may be able to restore balance to the planet." The plan they proposed was ambitious and fraught with risk. It involved using advanced human technology to amplify the heart's healing energies, a process that required precise coordination and deep understanding of both human and Xylothian science. It was a gamble, but one they had to take. The task force members exchanged determined glances, and Commander Harris spoke up. "We all know what's at stake. Let's get to work and make this happen." In the days that followed, the colony buzzed with activity. Scientists calibrated their instruments, engineers constructed the necessary apparatus, and Xylothian shamans prepared rituals to guide the process. The collaborative effort was a testament to what could be achieved when two species worked together for a common cause. Finally, the day of the operation arrived. The task force gathered at the heart of Xyloth, the air thick with anticipation. Evelyn and Zephyr stood at the center, ready to lead the crucial procedure. Evelyn took a deep breath and activated her communication device, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "Today we stand on the brink of a new beginning. We are here not just to save a planet, but to forge a future based on cooperation and mutual respect. Let's show the galaxy what we can achieve together." The heart of Xyloth began to pulsate with an intensified rhythm, responding to the combined efforts of the humans and Xylothians. As the energy amplified, the ground beneath them trembled, and the air crackled with raw power. Evelyn and Zephyr synchronized their actions, guiding the flow of energy with a precision that came from their deep bond and shared purpose. The task force members held their breath, watching in awe as the heart's light grew brighter and more intense. Moments stretched into eternity, but finally the ground settled, and the light began to stabilize. A wave of restorative energy rippled outward from the heart, spreading across the land. Plants that had withered began to flourish, and the air filled with the sounds of rejuvenated wildlife. Evelyn felt a surge of relief and triumph. They had done it. As the light subsided, the task force erupted into cheers. Humans and Xylothians embraced, celebrating their hard-won victory. Evelyn turned to Zephyr, her eyes shining with gratitude. "We did it," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. Zephyr smiled, his own eyes reflecting the same joy. "Together we have achieved something extraordinary." In the weeks that followed, the effects of their actions became evident. The planet's energy balance stabilized, and the ecosystem began to recover. The human colony and Xylothian settlements strengthened their bonds, forging new agreements based on respect and cooperation. Evelyn and Zephyr's efforts had not only averted a catastrophe, but also laid the foundation for a new era of unity and understanding. They had shown that despite their differences, humans and Xylothians could come together to protect their shared home. Standing on a hill overlooking the revitalized landscape, Evelyn turned to Zephyr. "You know, I used to think humans were the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy." Zephyr's eyes sparkled with a hint of amusement. "And now?" "Now I believe we have the potential to be the most compassionate, if we choose to be." Zephyr nodded, his smile warm and genuine. "And you've never been afraid of humans?" Evelyn shook her head. "Not anymore." As they stood side by side, gazing at the horizon, Evelyn felt a profound sense of hope. They had faced incredible challenges and emerged stronger, proving that unity and understanding could overcome even the greatest of obstacles. Together, they would continue to build a future where humans and Xylothians thrived in harmony, forever united by the shared belief that they could achieve anything together.